Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thank you for joining me once again here on Talk and Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today. We're going to start off not with headlines regarding Ryan Garcia or Oscar De La Hoya, but in fact some news coming out of Montreal. A bit of a recap of a recent fight at the Montreal Casino, Montreal, Quebec, on Thursday. That'd be June 1st on ESPN Plus, by the way. I have the Tiger Management put on a show and presented in their main event NABA and NABF super middleweight champ Erik Bazinyan, and he defended against Jose El Chancantito de Jesus Mesia of Mexico in a solid 10-round bout that could have gone either way. Anyway, as I said, NABA and NABF super middleweight champ Erik Bazinyan, he's now 30-0. Out of originally Armenia and now living in Montreal, Quebec. Soundly defeated Jose de Jesus Macias. He's 28-12-4, by the way. Although, by most accounts, it seemed to be a really good, close fight. So good news for either Tiger Management, good news for Quebec Fighting, and good news for young Erik Bazinyan, who we've promoted quite a bit here on Talk and Fight, and hope he continues on his roll, 30-0, undefeated. Let's move along to the heavyweights, because we have some peculiar news. There's been some shakeups that we know with respect to who's going to fight who wants to fight who will be fighting who. So here we go. Anthony Joshua has rejected a fight with Tyson Fury. And let's go back to, let's see his quote. Who am I quoting here? Frank Warren. Yeah. Let me clarify what's actually happened with Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. Last week, a written proposal was sent to Matchroom for AJ to fight Tyson in September. Eddie Hearn came back and spoke to my son, George. He said it would take a couple of days to see where they're at with it. A few days passed, and George met with AJ's management company yesterday. They confirmed AJ is fighting in Dubai in December against Deontay Wilder. That is his preferred route. Warren believes there's a chance for Joshua to do both, as there are plans in place for a warm-up fight against Dillian Whyte around the same time. There is space to open up in August, AJ versus Whyte, for example, replace that with AJ versus Fury, I suppose. But they basically do not want to do the fight. But AJ has chosen not to take the fight anyway, and that's where we're at. The Queensberry boss also stated that Joshua has already accepted the terms reoffered in the latest contract. The only sticking point was Joshua accepting the fight. When Tyson said there was a draft contract, what happened is we had prepared a draft contract the last time we had negotiations, and so there was nothing to be concerned about regarding negotiations. It was just as if they wanted the fight or not. So let's move along to have a quick look at Tyson Fury's upcoming scenarios. Well, let's take a quicker look at what AJ is going to do. So speaking to Boxing Social, Eddie Hearn confirmed that he has booked the O2 Arena in London for August 12th for a rematch between Joshua and longtime rival Dillian Whyte, but admitted that the deal is far from complete. He said, "We have the O2 Arena held for that date, yes. We want to make AJ versus Dillian Whyte. That is the fight that we want to make for August 12th. We still have to close that deal, and we're not there yet at all, so we have other opponents in mind, but we would like to fight Dillian Whyte. We are also looking at stadiums for that fight, but we do have the O2 booked for August 12th. Right. So here's what I put into the funny column. The latest call out with respect to Tyson Fury and a potential opponent comes from Jarrell Miller, an almost opponent for Anthony Joshua, by the way, before failing doping tests for various substances. Having served a ban for another violation, Miller's back fighting and looking for a big night under the lights. He took to Instagram to address Tyson Fury directly, and here's what he had to say. It's your boy, Big Baby Miller here, the original, one and only king of talking shit and backing it up. Listen, man, this is to my boy Gypsy King, aka Tyson Fury. I heard you're looking for an opponent. Let's cut the shit. You know who's the best and biggest option is? Nothing personal, just business. Your people call my people, work on them dollar signs, and we get it cracking. It'd be my official honor to beat your ass and give you your first loss. That's Terrell Miller. Now, that prompted one of my friends over boxingnews24.com, Jake Turnan, to say, well, you know, Fury is going to need a warm-up fight if he is going to fight in December. And recognizing that Usyk's got a fight coming up, Joshua's got a fight. So who would uh, be looked at by Frank Warren as a potential opponent for Tyson Fury? Well, here are some names to consider, and I do like the fourth name on this list. Ajit Caballal, Frank Sanchez, Andy Ruiz, and here's my favorite, Jared Anderson, Martin Bakoli, Lenia Perro, Arslanbek Makhmudov, and Otto Wallen. Fury would be coming off a year's layoff by the time he faces IBF, WBO, and WBO champ Usyk in Saudi Arabia in December. That's not ideal to be fighting a mobile sharpshooter like Usyk's, who will take advantage of Fury's ring rust to pick him apart. The December fight is a huge fight. It's incredibly lucrative for AJ. It's one of the hugest fights in boxing, said Eddie Hearn. We don't feel real comfortable. Anthony doesn't feel comfortable in changing those two fight plans, scrapping them in the hope of making a Tyson Fury fight. So it doesn't look like AJ is going to be fighting Fury, and it doesn't really look like Fury's going to be fighting anyone anytime soon. So we'll have to wait and see. But speaking of Tyson Fury and his former trainer, SugarHill Steward, believes Ben Whittaker, someone who we talked about during the Olympics a year or two ago, said Ben Whittaker will go all the way, not only to become a world champion, but that he has all the components he needs to be a superstar. Stewart, well regarded, notably for guiding Tyson Fury through his two victories over Deontay Wilder and other high-profile fights, has coached Olympic silver medalist Whittaker from his professional debut. Although they've had only 3 fights together, Stewart rates what he has seen from Whittaker in the gym and in the ring. He said, Whittaker has a lot more than just talent. There's a lot of talent out there, but there's not a lot of fighters who have all those other components that make them a superstar. He has talent outside the ring, charisma, ability to entertain, ability to talk, to be able to deal with people, to deal with different situations, overcome adversity, want more, to still have that hard work ethic and things like that, said Stewart. Wow. And that is a rare cocktail of ingredients for a boxer indeed. Let's pop along to Gervonta Davis, the ongoing saga. So his former girlfriend withdrew her charges down in Florida, so that got him out of hot water down there. But just prior to his fight with Garcia, he was facing some jail time and got away with house arrest. However, here come the headlines. Superstar boxer Gervonta Davis bought a brand new $3.4 million home, apparently a penthouse suite, to serve his house arrest sentence, only to be jailed soon afterward. Tank paid the whopping figure, according to a Baltimore realtor, after looking to rent for the remainder of his 90-day sentence and beyond. However, just a short time after his intended purchase, Davis was ordered behind bars. His incarceration was due to alleged breach of his conditions. Attorney Michael Tomko updated several news sources, and he updated authorities staged an impromptu hearing on Thursday to ensure Davis could not enjoy the luxury of his new asset. Davis had been allowed to remain in the custody of his surroundings, provided he adhered to the terms laid down by the judge overseeing the case. It was expected that Davis would serve some time in custody anyway. The maximum he could hope for his part in that hit-and-run incident was 7 years. As it turned out, and despite being informed by circuit judge Althea M. Handy that his plea for non-custodial sentence was overruled, Davis got the very bare minimum punishment. But even that proved too much for the pay-per-view fighter. He will now have to serve at least 2 months in jail. The irony that Davis would buy such an extravagant home only to be confined to a small cell is staggering, to be sure. Now, you want to know what's staggering? How much athletes are getting paid these days. So this was particularly related to boxers. The headline screams, only 2 boxers feature on Forbes' highest paid athletes list in 2023. I'm just going to go through the top 5 because it is indeed staggering. Cristiano Ronaldo, soccer player, whopping total 136 million a year. That's 46 in sport, 90 million out of sport. Lionel Messi comes in second, also a soccer player, 130 million with 65 million in sport and 65 million out of sport. Another soccer player, Kylian Mbappe, 120 million in total, 100 million in sport, 20 million out of sport. Fourth, LeBron James, the basketball player, King James, 119.5 million in total, 44.5 million in sport, 75 million out of sport. Wow. Number 5, guess who it is? Canelo Alvarez, yes. 110 million in total, 100 million in sport, and 10 million out of sport. So, who is, well, AJ's in their areas. Number 28, Anthony Joshua, 53 million in total, 50 million in sport, 3 million out of sport. So someone needs to up his sponsorship earnings, if you ask me. All right, boxing fans, thanks for joining me once again here in Talk and Fight. Appreciate it very much. I'll be joining Talking Fights Subject Ben and Mike Gore at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for their show Knuckle Up. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you later on. Thank you.